me get this tweeted out and discorded out here so everybody can join in. 1 second. There. And there. All right, cool. Awesome. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Cool. So today we're going to be starting a new series on planning the trade. All right. Well, I hope. And today we're going to be talking about the trend. So really good stuff right here. Actually, just got an email here from Shirley. So let me get this. This information here real quick. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Got it. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Let me get this posted here actually real quick. 1 second. There we go. All right. Cool. So good stuff. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about we're starting a new series here on planning the trade, and so today we're going to be talking about the trend. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening and what might be setting up going into tomorrow and the rest of the night. And then we're going to take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right. So SPX up 27 points today, so generally looks like a bullish day, right? So green monthly chart back to the upper Bollinger Band. Weekly chart, well, we're not really out of the woods yet, right? We still have the red spinning top from last week, and we're kind of just caught right in the middle of it. But we did get a nice push up here today, so that's good. The daily chart, everything's looking pretty good on it, right? The only thing that we're not really seeing right now, we're back above the ADMA. The only thing we're not seeing now is volume, right? So if you go to the SPY, one of the things you can see here is, we got a big drop in volume right there on this up move. So it makes it a little bit sketchy, but what really kind of makes it a little bit more sketchy is the wave count that we've been tracking here, right? So the last impulsive wave up, definitely an impulsive wave, right? Clearly a big move up, right? We had this 1 2 1 2 3 4 ending diagonal 5, right? And then we started this 1 2 3 4 5 zigzag down, right? Very impulsive move down right into the 382, and then it looks like we finished we're in ABC, so that gives us a 3 or a 5 3 5, which is a zigzag potential move. So we're a little bit cautious off here. Is also right back up to the 618, and we ended up closing below there today, which makes it a little bit sketchy, right? And so if we do end up working on this this down move here, we may see a symmetrical move down, right? So if we just kind of duplicate this and bring it down here from the B line, right, we may push our way down to the 50% retrace on another impulsive wave down. So this is definitely something that we're tracking going into this week, and very, very concerned after the close today. Now, let's take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So you can see here, let's take a look at the ES. Well, actually, let's take a look at the intraday price action. You can see we obviously pulled back at the end of the day. Today was a grinder, right? We just kind of worked our way up, and it was this low volume day, but just kept on drifting itself up, and then we had the shooting star candle, and then just kind of pushed back below the ADMA there, but it took all day to get there, right? Just excruciating. So there's a couple other shooting stars here that started to get there, a little bit of movement. We had one right here, just no follow through off of this one did, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit more this week probably too. So let's take a look at the S&P futures again. Guys, this is the level, right? We put this in our game plan this morning in the bubble report. We're like, all right, if we can get over these levels, we can get over the overnight highs, we can get over Friday's highs, right? The next level up is this VPOC, right? We got some clear air to get there, and it'll take some work, right? And it was work. I mean, this was a grinder today. It just kind of just grindy. I mean, small candles, grindy. Upper shadows, lower shadows, ground its way up, and then we get the VPOC. Then we got the shooting star off of the key level right there, tagged it to the tick, and then pushed our way down. So really, really cool stuff. That was right off the game plan from the bubble report this morning. So today, and again, it all started kind of with the magical triangle, right, which we talked about last week, right? So we got this triangle pre-market and just got some great follow-through from it, right? Really incredible stuff. It was actually a reversal triangle here today, going into today. So pretty cool stuff there. So we got a couple geometric lines for sure. The bottom of this triangle, if we stretch this out here, right, we got this to look at going into this evening, and the other line that we're going to track to going into this evening is here, which we may have already crossed below. No, not quite yet. So we're still kind of testing these levels right now. So we're up 5 points, kind of chopping around here. We'll see if they get bullish and hold on to this geometric line. If not, a breakdown below the trend line, right, and that recent pivot low, right, could start to see a couple of these other areas here going into the evening. So we'll see how that goes there, and if that starts that wave C down that we've been talking about. So So cool stuff there. All right, so good. So this week we're going to be talking about planning the trade, right? And so the first part, so there's three main steps to planning the trade, and the first one is to be able to identify the trend. Easier said than done, right? But there's a bunch of different methods, and we've done a bunch of series on trend, but we'll just cover kind of a couple basics right here. I mean, one of the things that we like to see too is generally is the and you can track it however you want to. Right? If you like to use moving averages, great. If you like to use if you like to use candles, right, larger term time frame candles, great. Whatever your tool is that you like to use, right, just make sure it's consistent with identifying what the trend is, right. So just for example, right, so if we just simply use trend lines, right, today, when we started the day off, right, and things started to get going, right. So the big thing that we look at, right, is the trend, right. So what is our trend, right? So here you can see we're trending up because we're over the trend line here this morning. Continue to work way up. One of the things I like to use is the ADMA, right. So we as long as the ADMA is rising, right, at a decent angle, right. Usually I like it over 45 degrees, but over 30 degrees is okay. And we're over the ADMA, right? We're generally trending up. So if you know what the trend is, right, on the time frame that you want to trade, that's really, really helpful. It also is nice to know what the macro trend is, right? So that's where kind of Elliott wave type stuff comes into play. By being able to identify the trend, it really helps us look for the next step, which is finding a setup, right? So we'll talk about finding a setup tomorrow. So there's, like I said, guys, there's a couple different ways that you can look for trends. Some people like the ADMA. I like it. Some people actually like it with another Fibonacci number, the 21 EMA, right? So you can take the 8 and the 21, right? As long as the 8 is over the 21 and rising, right? You could assume that we are trending up, right? So if you have this right here, you've got your 21, you've got your 8, right? That's a possibility too. You can pick whichever you want. Some folks like to use the whole moving average. Other folks like to use RSI, right? So I mean, trend lines, channels, right? As long as you're channeling up, right? There's a lot of different tools that can be used. Channel is an excellent example right here too. You just have to find whatever is most consistent for you, right? So you take this line right here and you kind of put it on the channel right here. Okay, well, we're definitely trending up, right? Because the channel's working its way up. We got to the top of the channel. Now we're above the channel. We're definitely trending up, right? So there's a lot of cool tools like that you can use to help identify the trend. And this, honestly, guys, knowing where you are in the trend is really important, right? Because if you're trending up, like, do you really want to short this thing unless you've got a strategy to do that? And that's fine as long as you know it's a counter trend move, but you have to have an excellent setup on it. And tomorrow we're going to talk about setups and the importance of that. And so, but today, right, for us, I mean, it's just a grinder to the upside, but there wasn't an opportunity to short this thing until off of this key level. There's really no major levels, right? I mean, the signal zone is okay. We got a little bit of a push down here, but on the shorter term time frames, there's no volume, right? Nothing was going on. But now volume started to pick up here, right, on the downside, and we could start to look at that for a move, right? Elliott wave, right? That's a helpful way too. Like, what wave are you in? Are you in a wave 3? What's your trend, right? Are you trending up in a wave 3? Are you in a wave 2? Are you wave B, right? So that really, really helps to know. Right, so today we're assuming we're going into a B wave in the market, right, which I showed here on the SPX, right? So that helps, right? Now B waves are tough waves to trade. These are very tough waves to trade. We prefer waves 3s and waves Cs, right? Once we know we're in a wave C and this thing is confirming itself, right, this will be a lot fun. This is a lot more fun, right? Because we would expect it to see some sharp downside moves. But today was a grinder, right? So, but at least we assumed that we were working on a B wave here today, and that at least helped us identify what the trend was. Okay, so that's the first part of planning a trade, is know what the trend is. And then tomorrow we'll talk about the next step, which is making sure that we have it set up, right? So good stuff there. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window. And we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. Like I said, Shirley sent a few via email. We'll get to those in a minute here. So Bullish and Bearish Trades, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let's take a look here. Let's go to the daily charts and take a look at Apple, right? So Apple, again, a big move here today, right? So intraday time frame, right, trending up, right? Macro time frame, struggling, right? Because we are below the macro trend line, right? So we're still downtrending. And Friday was kind of a bear trap, right? So it was a very, very interesting move here. Closed below the bump line, and with increasing volume, looks like it wanted to hit the 200-day moving average. It's like, whoop, just kidding, right? So a nice little reversal back up. So we'd like to have seen a little more volume on it, but still a nice close above the ADMA, right? So nice stuff there on that one. So Tesla again, very very similar. Tesla and Apple both got into downtrends at about the same time. So kind of interesting too with Tesla being back on the or being on the S&P 500 now. So Tesla's struggling out there trend wise, right? We're above the bump line here. It's got its trend box that it's in. So we'd like to see some increasing volume here above the top of the trend box, which is basically piercing the cloud too. It's kind of like a double whammy right there, which would be pretty great. So let's see if we can do that, and then maybe push up to the macro downward trend line. Otherwise, back down it could go. So good stuff there. DBX with an inside day up here today. This had a great week a couple of weeks ago and a good push there. It's struggling a little bit here on the daily chart, but it could be working on a bull flag, right? So this is something to keep an eye on right here. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this and see how that holds, right? See if it can continue to work its way up. Again, a little more volume would be nice on it, but maybe on the flag breakout potential. So we've got that going on. ON with a close over the ADMA here today, but in a but looks like an upper shadow here, so a little bit sketchy, but definitely want to keep an eye on that. I do like the gap up on that, so nice stuff there. All right, so good. So Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's take a look at SWCH. So SWCH with a strong push here today, inside day up. It's continuing to work its way up here. It looks like it's trying to work on a fresh trend, so you kind of have this channel here that it's working on. So let's see how this holds, and if it continues to glide its way up right here, you got a big gap above here on switch, so see how that goes. KHC, this was a big mover recently, right? So we had a couple huge days a couple weeks ago that were kind of just chopping around after that. So it could be kind of like a cup and handle-ish type pattern. I don't really like the area here for it. It's kind of choppy, but let's keep an eye on it, see if we get some more volume, and if we can try to push up above those highs. PG, another kind of safety name here too. Again, good volume here, back above the 50-day. This is one that we liked recently. So it gave a couple nice moves right here and just has been grinding its way up. It was a tricky move on Friday with this close, but really holding those levels here from Thursday was really pretty impressive on it. So good stuff there. And what else? DLR, let's take a look. So DLR with an inside day here today. Big move, right? So decent close day, up 2%, and still below the 50-day moving average. So let's see if we can try to grind its way up there. A little bit tricky here with the 50-day and the cloud right above it. And then CPB, another consumer staple type name, right? So these names, I tell you, a lot of these staple names have been like FANG stocks, right? So Campbell's, right? Big push here, right? Earnings. Big dip buy, right? Huge. And now getting follow through off of that double inside day and continue to work its way up. So really, really cool stuff there on the CPB. So good finds there. And what else? So good stuff. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's take a look. So you've got Snap on the radar. So Snap was interesting. Snap this morning had a, Bank of America downgrade. But wow, did they, maybe they're just trying to get an entry on that one because the volume really came in on Snap today and they bought the dip on it too. And plus tech was strong, right? So that was nice as well. Still below 50 day and still below the 8 day, but I do like that hammer with the increasing volume. So look to see if that can get any strength to the upside. So good find there. Target, again, a little bit tough here. Big strong candle on Friday, right? Kind of a pause day here today. So let's see if that turns into kind of a measured move up if we get some extra strength on that going into tomorrow too. So good stuff. Oh, 2020. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip over there. Sorry about that. And so, Mike, I'll take Facebook, and then we'll go back to 2020. Sorry about that. I just skipped over my eye. I think it was the YouTube was kind of jumping around there. Facebook, again, guys, really, really close here to all-time highs. Nice breakout here over the macro geometric line. It's not that far from all-time highs. It's really not. Really one day's candle away. If it would have been nice if it held a little bit stronger, but still some relative strength, and it's been moving pretty well recently. So good stuff there. 2020, sorry about that. Let's take a look at GMBL. Excuse me one second. So GMBL ultimately looks like it's basically just kind of grinding, right? So, but I do like the close today. I like the increased volume on it. I like how it closed over a lot of this resistance area. Again, next levels up or kind of up here. This has just been a really, really tough name to get a good geometric line on, really, honestly. It just keeps on giving you upper shadows and stuff here. So this is kind of your area right here. Just see how that holds going into the next couple days here off of that triangle. So good stuff there on GMPL. IQ. All right, so IQ, decent continuation hammer here today. Let's see if that gets any follow through. It did give a huge dip buy after earnings on that one and just kind of chopped around after that. So, but the last 3 days, kind of three white soldiers. So, see if it gets any follow through off of that. But it might want to calm down a little bit. So, good stuff there. But it had a little bit of action here today. Yext again with a double inside day below the ADMA, so a little bit of caution off of that one. Walmart, this is one of my favorites on the radar going into tomorrow. Love this inside day. Really want to see if it breaks out to the upside. I love how it didn't tap tagged the 618 off of this last move, but it's looking interesting, right? So let's keep an eye on it and see if Walmart's ready to make a little bit of a push here tomorrow. It's going to be on the bullish radar tomorrow. And then Acre, Acre with an inside day today too. Again, biosciences company here, so just a little bit of caution off of that, but see if it takes the inside day up and gets going off of that one. Nice stuff there. So good. And Mike, yeah, got you. Sorry about that, guys, for jumping around on that one. So good stuff. The Nest. Wow. Let's take a look at this one here and see how it did here today. So it basically broke down below this wedge type pattern. So what I would do at this point here is see if it's actually turning into a flag, and then look for some relative strength off of it for this thing to get going. I don't like how it's this price action here below the ADMA, right? But we might be flagging right here. See if it kind of tests the 618 area that we kind of looked at the other day. See if that holds as support, and then if it's trying to do a little bull flag up. So that could be pretty cool there too. And then LFMD. Again, well, this is nice, right? So starting to move right here, right? There's a couple different levels that we liked. This is a nice geometric line right here off of the IPO, and just kind of has been grinding its way up here after it. So again, looking pretty decent right here. It cleared 2 geometric lines and a nice hammer here today. Maybe it'll get a little bit of an earnings run, so that'd be pretty cool there too. And then the BHC monthly. Let's take a look at this one and see how it's looking. Yeah, so BHC monthly. Yeah, starting to grind its way up here, right? Nice recent highs and pushing its way up. Looking pretty good here on the monthly chart. Weekly chart, you got your double inside week. Daily chart. Again, healthcare looks pretty interesting going into tomorrow, so definitely want to keep an eye on here. Could be doing like a little bit of a flag. So good stuff there. And Kenny, GME, let's take a look. So GMA Rocket, inside day here today. Ended up closing below the ADMA, but keep an eye on it. It's coming right at the cloud, and we got earnings tomorrow after the close. What's gonna happen? Is it Bull City or Bear City? We will see, and it's gonna be fun either way. So I love it. So good stuff there. The Nest, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at CF, inside day below the ADMA as well. Watch out for breaks down below these lows at 50 days right under there as a potential move. And MOS, again, drop below the ADMA right here, but kind of decreasing volume, so a little bit challenging off of that. James, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's look at Pong, the Pong F. I love it, guys. Atari, look at this thing. Look at the volume, right? So like they say, elephants don't fit through doorways, right? So look at that. Look at all that volume. You can't hide that type of volume here, guys. This thing's ready to roll. That was a great find, James, really. When you see that type of volume coming, it's like there's something going on, right? But what's going on? Anything? Is there any news? Not really. So, Atari announces Google Chrome's Atari VCS built-in browser enables streaming services, whatever. So they need to come up with a cool new gaming system. Anyway, so good stuff. Let's see what they do. If they did, though, right, that'd be really epic. Or if like Microsoft bought them out or something like that. Pretty cool stuff there too. But anyway, we'll see. Great find on that one. So Ollie, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Fubo. So Fubo getting really tight in here, right? So we got this inside day here today. Let's just see. Let's see what it does, right? It's a real doji right here. It's getting really, really tight. So possibly contraction to expansion type stuff happening. Let's keep an eye on it here if it wants to break out. Let's get a couple levels here. Again, there's a couple geometric levels here that we might want to just kind of keep an eye on here and see how they go on Fubo. And bullish bear shades at Qs. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, absolutely. So the Qs, again, very, very similar, right? So we had a downtrend line right here, and we have not really confirmed above any trend box yet. So we're still kind of in a downtrend here on the Qs. So just kind of keep an eye on these levels right here and see how they hold. We're basically below the 50-day moving average. Again, a strong close above this turning point here could get really interesting for the Qs and start a fresh trend up, right? So let's and then of course we got to get to the highs to shift our trend line over. So good stuff there. Definitely tracking that on the Qs. And Ella, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at GE. Let's see. So GE again, really, really choppy right here. It could be triangulating a little bit. Nice volume drop here too on this pullback. So to see how it holds right here, we're getting tight, right, in this range, and see if it's ready to make a move here, break out one way or the other. So good stuff there. So Michael, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, V with a dip buy at the open. How about that? Yeah, huge move today. Talk about squeezing out some shorts here today, right? So great stuff there at the open, then just blow off for the rest of the day. So upper shadow off the 50-day moving average, so probably just turn into a positive. But yeah, nice profit taking on the short and the short covering there at the open for a nice wave to ride there too. So good stuff there. And then SPRT, let's take a look. SPRT pretty epic right here. Big gap up there today. Nasty pullback. So a little bit of caution off of that one. And UPST. So this thing really, really epic right here, guys. So this was pretty big, right? On we talked about this area right here, closing above it. It came back in, retested this, and then bounced with some pretty big authority on this one. So pretty cool stuff on there. Huge volume on that there after earnings as well. So good stuff there. And good. And Ollie, Airbnb, let's take a look. So Airbnb again, upper shadow here, a little bit nasty there off of the ADMA. Not a lot of volume, so let's see how it goes going into tomorrow. But I'm not a huge fan of that, so just a little bit of caution there. And then good stuff. And Michael, yeah, JFin. Let's take a look. Yeah, there it goes. The inside day up on JFin. I love it. Great find on that one there too. And then look at TCAT too. Another big inside day up. And then Hoff V. Hoff V. Let's take a look. So Hoff V with a big push here too. So very, very nice move. Huge volume on these names. Great finds on those. I love it. Good. Sharon, what's going on? Can you see it? AFRM. Let's take a look. AFRM with a close over the ADMA today. Not the type of volume I'd like to see, but definitely showing some, trying to show some strength. And then BA could potentially be flagging here, so let's just keep an eye on it here. It's possible falling wedge type formation. So again, it's been kind of grindy and choppy here, low volume, so it's holding the 382. So let's see how that does here. It had a big move recently, so not surprised to see it kind of just calming down a little bit after that, but it was pretty epic there for a while. Michael Phillips, GameStop to 800, and then 1,000. And Michael Phillips, Atari. I know, yeah, it's kind of public. It's what is it like eight? Isn't it like an ADR or something like that? Let's see. So Pong F. What's the scoop here with this one? It's I thought it was a foreign exchange name. I think it's a foreign entity. Anyway, I think that's what the F means at the end of it. So anyway, but yeah, it is tradable though, I believe. So some cool stuff there. Really, really neat stuff. So Abby, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at BB and see how that's looking here. So BB. So BB getting kind of tight right here. Again, who knows? Maybe keep an eye on GameStop, right? So if GameStop gaps up and goes, maybe a couple of these other meme names could get going. This one started to break out here the other day. Looked like it was going to go and just kind of pulled back and just kind of calmed down a little bit. So again, this is a good one to just kind of keep on the radar and see how it goes. Just never got any strength after its one breakout day. So looked like it could try, but that's what we have right there. So good stuff. So Ollie, Atari collaboration was for Sneakerhead. For sneakerheads. Okay, I don't know what that means, but that sounds interesting. So good stuff there. And yeah, and SPCE, let's take a look. Sounds epic though. So SPC again getting really, really tight in here. Has had a nasty pullback, right? So it's kind of had this, kind of this maybe this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish move down right here. We could be working on an ABC back up. See how it handles the 50-day. If it gets back up there, it might want to push back down again to the 200. Just kind of keep an eye on it right here. It's kind of sloppy, grindy type stuff right now, but we could see some contraction to expansion on it. So definitely want to keep an eye on here too. So good stuff. So James, yeah, Rad. We haven't looked at that one in a few days, right? So let's take a look here. So Rad. So Rad with a almost a flaggish type pattern right here. So looking kind of interesting, kind of a falling wedge-ish. So holding on to the cloud so far, ADMA, so see if we can break out above those levels. Right, and another pharmacy. Let's take a look at CVS and see how that goes here. So CVS, again, generally channeling right here. It got above the channel, and now it just needs to kind of get above these guys up here and see if we can get going. So good stuff there. Roy, what's going on? NVIDIA with an epic day today. Seriously, big move on it. Doesn't look like it on the daily chart, but intraday it was pretty smooth. And ended up having increasing volume right here. A bit of an upper shadow here after it filled some key levels, right? So, and then kind of did its thing there. But we'll keep an eye on it, see how it goes here going into tomorrow. Again, big ADMA day today before it decided to pull back into the close. Big thing on this one I'm kind of tracking, right? So we still have the impulsive wave down, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be an A, B, and a C back up to the geometric line. And if that doesn't hold, right, we may see another impulsive move down on NVIDIA too. So just another one to keep an eye on there as well. And then Michael, yeah, MViz. Let's take a look at this one here too. Yeah, big doji day on this one here, but it did give a big pop intraday, 2 big pops on it intraday for the dip buy, right? And then basically wave 1, 2, 3 essentially. So so nice move on that here. Let's see if that turns into a doji sandwich and tries to work its way up. So good stuff there. Jason, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a PLTR. So PLTR is a little bit rough, right? We're below the ADMA. I'm kind of like just not really. I'm just kind of neutral on this right now. We have decreasing volume right here. I'm not bullish on it. I'm not super bearish on it. But the longer it stays below the ADMA, right, the worse things could get for it. It's kind of got a flat 50-day on it too. So it's just kind of blah. Just kind of. But it is below the ADMA, so a little bit of caution of that. Some volume to the upside might be nice for it. So keep an eye. It's pretty solid, right? I mean, Kathy likes it, and I mean, their earnings were not too horrible, and they had their last product demo day was pretty solid. So yeah, just keep an eye on it, see if it gives us any strength. PLBY, yeah, NFT, yeah, not really interested. And then VWAGY, some cool stuff there. Let's see. So let's see, what is this one? VWAGY, yeah, Volkswagen. Look at this one, nice spinning top reversal on that. So So good stuff there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, PLTRS is going to be a really, really tricky one. I just wait for some volume on it. I mean, I think it's overall pretty solid. A lot of people like it, company wise. So just wait for some volume on it and see if once it's ready to get going again. Right now, it's just no one's, the institutions just aren't paying attention to it right now. So good stuff there. But yeah, Volkswagen, good spinning top reversal today. Let's see if that gets any follow through on that one there for you too. There, Ivy Raj. So good stuff there. Well, good. Well, good stuff, guys. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. I love this week's series, planning the trade. Honestly, I think this is the most important part of trading. All right, once you know how to trade, you know all the basics. Yeah, just cooking. Yeah, exactly, Jason. Just cooking longer. Exactly. So once you know the basics, this is the epic part, right? Planning the trade and having that plan work for you. So hopefully, you guys find it helpful. Looking forward to talking to you more about it tomorrow. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. Even if you're watching the recording, we always appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening. Sharon, the Solars are coming back here soon too. Let's take a look at Tan. Yes, the Solars could be making a comeback. I like this possible 1-2 move right here. Let's get over that ADMA, get some volume, and see if the Solars get going. I love it. So good stuff there. Anyway, guys, thanks everybody for tuning in. For Bubble Report subscribers and Elite Access members, we'll see you guys bright and early. And of course, even if you're not in the group, we'll still see you at the Good Morning Market Prep video here on YouTube and also in the public Twitter where we do our preliminary pre-market prep type stuff there too. So good stuff, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk